Hello and greetings. Muhammad Suleiman Ahmadzai is here with a new session for you, dear friends. Welcome to Microsoft Windows. Today's lesson with you is about the control panel. Let's start with the definition of the control panel. What does the control panel do and what is it used for? According to the English definition, it says, look, this particular section of the text which is currently presented in the English language serves as a foundational element for our discussion. Well, following a comprehensive and thorough definition of its purpose and scope, we will now collaboratively explore and understand the various methods and diverse locations from which we can effectively gain access to the control panel, considering all possible entry points and scenarios. From where can we open the control panel together? Try to remember, there are different ways to open it. The first way is to go to the Start menu. We go to a section called All. Further down, when we are with our compatriots in the W category, we have something called Windows Tools. When we enter Windows Tools together, here as you can see we have something called Control Panel. Whenever we want, we can access the control panel from here. The second method is that together we can open it through Run. With Run, try to remember that in Windows 11 and Windows 10, we might have some trouble finding Run if we use the shortcut method. For example, if we use the shortcut method, we need to go to the All section. Then under the W category, find Windows Tools, and here we have something called Run. When we click on Run, this will open a Run dialog box. But it would have been easier to open this with a shortcode. Its shortcode is Windows key plus R. When we simultaneously press Windows key plus R, it automatically opens for us. Inside the box, we should write Control Panel Supplement. After that, we tell him OK. The control panel opens. But searching is easier than using Run. Why? Run has a problem. If you type the name of a software, you have to write it out completely. If I try to delete the letter L blind here and then click OK, it won't open the control panel for us. That means if even one letter is missing from its name, we realize that Run won't work anymore. So after using Run, the easiest way is from this section, which we call Search. In Search, even if we just type the first two letters of the software's name, it will find the software for us. For example, here, we just typed CO, just two letters, and it shows us Control Panel here. As soon as we click, the Control Panel opens. If we want, we can, for example, create Control Panel on the desktop, and just like Control Panel, we can also create My Computer or this PC, and we can also create Recycle Bin. But as we can see together, we don't have this on the desktop by default. But my goal is to have it in its original form, not as a shortcut. If we bring it as a shortcut, some friends do it this way. They go to the Start section, and then it appears in the All section. Here they go to the W category and open Windows Tools. For example, if we go to the desktop and drag it like this, a shortcut will be created under the desktop. But as you see, it came as a shortcut. Later, I'll show you how to bring it in its original form. That is, this arrow key or this arrow that shows in the corner shouldn't be displayed. So for now, it appears as a shortcut. I'll tell you later how to make it appear in its original form. Alright, now how can we bring the control panel to the desktop in its original form together? Just like how this PC looks, and just like how the recycle bin is. So what do? Well, we select the control panel shortcut here, we press delete and remove it. We want to bring it back in its original form. After that, together we go to the Start menu, and here we open Settings. This is the Microsoft Windows settings. Inside Settings, here we have something called Personalization. Once we're in Personalization, here we have another section called Theme. We go into Theme. Further down here, we have something called Desktop Icon Settings. As soon as you click, a settings window opens. We say that on the desktop, we need the settings for computer or this PC, we need Recycle Bin, and we also need Control Panel. We can also select other folders, for example. For any folder we select, we can even do what with its icon. We can change it. For example, we change the icon for this PC. If we didn't want that, we could restore it to default. So what was our goal here together? It was about the control panel. When we click OK together, now if we go to the desktop, we'll see that the control panel has appeared on the desktop in its original form. Just like this PC and just like the recycle bin, it has appeared on the desktop, not as a shortcut, but in its original form. If we want, for example, we can also pin the control panel to the Start menu in some way. To pin it to the Start menu, first we go to the Search section and search for Control Panel here. For example, if we type CO, Control Panel will appear. After that, once we've found Control Panel here, we open this item. Notice that here we have two options, Pin to Taskbar, Pin to Start. If we select Pin to Start, it will pin a copy of this to the Start menu for us, and if we select Pin to Taskbar, it will pin a copy of this to the taskbar for us. Now, if we go to the Start menu, here we have something called Control Panel in the Start menu. Similarly, if we right-click on it, we can also pin it to the taskbar. Now, notice that we have a copy of this both in the Start menu and also in the taskbar. Whenever we click on it in the taskbar, it opens the control panel for us. If we don't want it in the taskbar anymore, we can unpin it again. We just right-click on it, we select Unpin from taskbar, and if we don't want it in the Start menu either, we do the semi-right click on it. Here we can choose Unpin from Start. Alright, when we enter the control panel together, we come up to the control panel interface. The control panel, as we mentioned, contains all the computer settings. It's like how we have something called settings on a phone. Similarly, on a computer, we have something called the control panel. Of course, in newer versions of Windows, we call it settings. We have settings, which I will show you how to use later. The control panel is one of the oldest settings features on computers. And from way back, whenever we wanted to make any kind of adjustment on the computer, whether it was hardware related or something to do with software, we would use it. We used to go to the control panel section. Here, there are separate settings for everything. For example, in the mail section, we have separate settings. For software, we have separate settings. For sound, we have separate settings. For keyboards, we have separate settings. For the mouse, we have separate settings. For language, we have separate settings. For fonts, we have separate settings. In short, for everything, we have different and individual settings, each one separated for us. All right, now let's talk about the interface. This top section here is what we refer to as the title bar or caption bar. Title bar or caption bar. We call it the N1 bar. These three buttons are called the control box or caption buttons. We have buttons like close, we have restore, maximize, and minimize, which we had already covered before. These buttons are called control buttons. Control buttons, we have buttons like backward, we have forward and home. This other section is what we call the address bar. Address bar, and we call this other button the search box. Search box. The function of the search box is that if we have lost a setting here and can't find it, all we need to do is type one or two letters of it. For example, if I need mouse, when we type MO, the settings that start with M will appear. It brings up mouse for us at the top, and by clicking on it, we can open it. We call this section the banner area, and these are all the items or settings we have here. These are the settings we have. In the banner section, we have something called View By. If we select small here, it displays them in a small size. If we select large, it displays them in a large size. In this view, we have all the settings shown separately. Each one is brought up for us individually. But if you want to categorize them, to group them together. If you want all of them to be displayed as a single group, again, we go to the View By section. Here we select Category. When we select Category, the control panel will then open in a categorized view. That means whenever we enter the control panel, this option shows us several categories. And just like here, it tells us that if you click inside this category, you'll find options like change date and time, number format, and several other settings available here. And similarly, it says that if you click on the System and Security button, you'll see that there are several other settings within it as well. That means, in essence, it has categorized the settings for us. If we didn't want that, we could select it in this way, large or small. The good thing about this view is that it shows each of these individually, separately, and distinctly for us. And finally, dear friends, we ask that if you found the videos useful, please like the videos to support us and help the channel grow. Subscribe to the channel, and we hope to see you in the next sessions. Goodbye.